So today I am here to answer Sammy's reverse Q&A thing. Firstly, if you're not subscribed to Sammy, what are you doing? And secondly, I'll leave his links in the description to his main channel and his other channel and to the video in which I am responding. In this moment, what are you most excited for? So right now, I am probably most excited for something that doesn't completely exist yet. Paramore are writing and recording their 5th album, like right now as I speak. I can't wait. This means that there's gonna be new Paramore music out like relatively soon, and I'm going to see them live again. And who knows, I could possibly meet them this time, and if that isn't something to be excited for, then geez sport, I don't know what is. What do you risk regretting about your current lifestyle in 5 years' time? Right now, I'm in a little bit of a dilemma. Basically, I live in Ireland, we have these exams called the Leaving Cert, and with your grades you get points, and these points allow you to go into college and university. I didn't get the right amount of points for my course. I was like 60 points under what it was gonna be. So I don't know whether I want to repeat and try and go and do the course next year, or to just take a year out and get a job and just live life a little bit, because school is quite shit. And my school doesn't exist anymore. It's a giant big mixed school now, and I don't think I'd cope without my friends there. I'm leaning towards giving that a miss, but part of me is like, what if the course would have been like the best thing that's ever happened to me and I've just like eliminated that? But yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's something I might regret 5 years down the line. But it could be the best choice I've ever made. If I were to say home, what's the first image that comes to mind? Honestly, and I know this probably sounds really fucking cheesy, but summer in the city was the best thing that has ever happened to me. I have never felt like I fit in and belonged somewhere more than I have during that weekend. And if I could go back and spend all of my time there, I would. I met the most incredible people, from friends in the queue to the actual YouTubers. I didn't want to leave. I think I said at the end of my Sitsi vlog that I was like, oh my gosh, I'll probably start crying again. That wasn't an exaggeration. The morning after Sitsi ended, I just sat in my hotel room and sobbed. Yeah, my answer is summer in the city. What doesn't scare you that should? This is gonna get a bit dark. Honestly, death doesn't really scare me. For example, we'll be crossing the road and there's a car coming towards us really fast, and I'm like, oh shit, I could die right now, but like, I've done some pretty cool things, so that's fine. That's not a good mentality to have. Like, I need to check myself. Like, this is not okay. Is this something I want to put on the internet? Editing Ali will decide. It's fine. What's the angriest you've ever been? I'm not sure if this is the angriest I've ever been, but it's the first thing that springs to mind. I went to an all-girls Catholic school, and it was interesting, and the 6th year English classes went to go and see King Lear be performed, because that was the play that we were studying for our exams that year. And I rocked up in my black skinny jeans, but I had the top half of my uniform on, and I was like, oh, we're not gonna make it back to school in time, like, it'll be fine, it doesn't matter that I'm wearing jeans. Turns out that we did make it back to school. My vice principal stopped me in my tracks and was like, oh my god, you have to go put a skirt on. I went to her little office, got a skirt. That skirt could have fit about 3 or 4 of me in it. Every time I took a step, it would fall down. Was wearing the jeans underneath it, just thought I'd put that out there. So I was like, fuck this. I'm not wearing this. She can fight me. She did. She pulled me out of the classroom during our lunch break, and she was like, why aren't you wearing the skirt? And I was like, oh, well, like, it doesn't fit me. And she was like, do you have tights? I did, actually. And I was like, yeah, I might. And she was like, if you don't, you have to go home. So me being the bratty little kid that I was, I rang my parents and was like, hey, I don't have the right uniform and she's threatening to send me home. Can I just sign out and go to the library and study? And they were like, cool. So I signed out. I got halfway down the hill and she was like, what do you think you're doing? And I was like, well, I don't have the right uniform, so I'm just gonna head home now. And she forced me to go back to school and sign me back in, and then followed me around the school for like the next couple of months to make sure that I was wearing the right uniform. Like, she would not leave me alone. It was one day, they were black skinny jeans. They weren't even that skinny. Not that that should be a factor included into it. I have a lot of opinions. What are the most justifiable reasons someone might dislike you? Oh, where do I begin? Number 1 is I am very, very opinionated, which is fine, I think. I love opinionated people. Let's have a good discussion. Problem is, I am quite dogmatic, and when I get very heated and like passionate about something that I feel very strongly about, I can be very much, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, like, shut up. It's my way or the highway. Which I would just like to point out is a shit attitude to have going into like a debate about something. Conversation works both ways. You need to listen and respect what the other person has to say. The second reason, I'm quite sarcastic. I don't really have a filter. Sarcasm just comes out at the worst times. And then when I'm in a bad mood, I'm sarcastic but in a really catty way, and that really grinds people's gears. Number 3 is when I get really angry about something. I can be very petty and subtweet a lot, and I hate that about myself. I delete them for the most part, like straight afterwards. I just need to like bleh. But I don't have patience and I need to work on this. I skipped a question. If you had to raise a child with some other person in your life who you were not romantically engaged with, who would it be and why? I've thought a lot about this question since Sammy uploaded it, and I've come to the conclusion that my brother would probably be the best person, which may sound a little bit weird, but he is the most selfless and down-to-earth and compassionate person I think I know ever. But yeah, my brother, because he's a good egg. Select a random acquaintance in your life. What's the biggest favor this person could do for you? And in contrast, what's the biggest favor you could do for them? I have been trying to come up with an answer for this, and I don't have one really. I guess for now, the biggest favor any of my acquaintances could give me, specifically creative people that I know, would be constructive criticism on my editing, because editing, I love it. It's my favorite part of this whole process, and I want to get better at it. And the more constructive criticism I get, the better. Unless you're just like, this is shit, do better. That's how does that help me? That's just pointing out that there is a problem, there's no solution. Then, as far as the biggest favor I could do for them, I don't know. I really don't know. If I think of something, I'll write it in the comments. And finally, what compliment has meant the most to you? So, not so long ago, a good friend of mine was going through some stuff, and I was just being there for them and listening to them and just trying to give them some advice and whatnot. They said to me, "You're such a great friend. You're gonna make a class YouTuber." And not that I essentially want being a YouTuber to be my end goal. If it happens, sweet. If it doesn't, like, this is a great hobby. I love doing this. That still meant a lot to me. And then a couple of days ago, that same person said, "I can't even edit a flipogram and you're here making these mint videos." I know I'm not brilliant at it yet, but those little things just mean so much to me, and they make me smile so much, and I appreciate it a lot, because this is one of the best things I've started doing in my life ever, and I don't want to ever stop, even if no one watches me anymore. It makes me so happy. So yes, these are my A's to Sammy's Q's. I am the most embarrassing person I know. As I said, I will leave all of Sammy's links in the description below. Please share and comment and like and subscribe and all that jazz, and I will see you whenever I see you. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.